After trading away Brian Burns last Monday night, the Carolina Panthers got busy in trying to find some replacements for Burns. They met with Chase Young, the former Washington Commanders second overall pick a couple years ago, and of course 49ers player after playing for them in the last half of the season. They also met with Jadeveon Clowney, the Rock Hill native, former South Carolina Gamecock, former number one overall pick on Thursday. And later on Thursday, met with DJ Wonnum, who ended up signing a 2-year deal to come to Carolina after an 8-sack season with the Minnesota Vikings. A player coming off his rookie deal who could come into Carolina, instantly take over one of those edge rushing spots and potentially be one of the foundational pieces in this defense moving forward under Ejiro Evero in Dave Canales' new Carolina Panthers staff. Now, what will the Panthers do moving forward as they've already signed Wonnum? They signed K'Lavon Chaisson on Friday afternoon to a 1-year up to $5 million deal, which means he's probably more of a rotational player than someone who's going to step in and start. But right now, looking at the depth chart, it would probably be Chaisson / DJ Johnson, and then opposite of them would be DJ Wonnum. The Carolina Panthers, a team that was the last team in the NFL when it came to sacks, last in pressure rate, a team that did not get much pressure at all on the quarterback and also didn't get a lot of opportunities considering this team did not lead at any point all season long in the fourth quarter. They're going to need to get some help at edge rusher if they're going to improve now that Brian Burns is out of the building. DJ Wonnum and K'Lavon Chaisson are here. One player the Panther fans really want to see come to Carolina is somewhat of a native son. He's not actually from Charlotte, from Rock Hill, which is in, of course, the Carolinas. It's in the Charlotte area, but Jadeveon Clowney, he again visited last Thursday. He is flying up to New York on Monday, and on Tuesday, he's going to meet with the Jets. It'll be interesting to see what happens here. The way I talked about the situation on Friday, I was really talking as the Panthers are moving on from Clowney. When they sign a starter in Wonnum, it's like, okay, well, maybe is that going to preclude them from being able to sign Jadeveon Clowney or Chase Young? Possibly when they sign K'Lavon Chaisson. Is that Panthers thinking that they're not going to get either one of those players and that they're absolutely moving on? Now they got 2 edge rushers. From my understanding, from someone I spoke to, the Panthers are still pursuing Jadeveon Clowney. They are not pursuing Chase Young. So Jadeveon Clowney, that is a player the Carolina Panthers are waiting on to see what happens. Something that's important for fans to understand when it comes to waiting for Clowney is this guy does not sign contracts in March. It just has not happened at any point in his career in the National Football League. Last year with the Ravens, he did not sign until August 18th during training camp. The year before that, when he re-signed with the Browns, he didn't sign until May 22nd. Of 2022. His first year with the Browns, he didn't sign until April 14th of 2021. And then after he left Houston, he got traded to Seattle. After he left Seattle, he didn't sign a deal with the Titans until September 6th. That's August 18th, May 22nd, April 14th, September 6th. This man has never been a priority for any team in the NFL. If he was, he would have been signed in the middle of March once free agency began. That's when I talk about most of the money spent right off the bat. You saw all those deals coming out on Monday and Tuesday. The priority free agents for the Carolina Panthers were the guys they signed right as everything got going. It's Robert Hunt, $100 million, $63 million guaranteed. It's Damian Lewis getting $65 million, 20-something million guaranteed. Those were the priorities for the Carolina Panthers. Everyone outside of that has signed some team-friendly kind of deals, like Josie Jewell not signing for too much. A'Shawn Robinson, I looked at it today on Over the Cap. His deal, the Panthers can get out of that after 1 year. They're signing team-friendly deals at positions of need, and they can come in and be solid players, but it's not like they're priority free agents that people are fighting over in the NFL. No one has ever fought over Jadeveon Clowney once free agency began. Now, once the summer months came around, then sure, teams might have been interested in having him come visit, but no one's fought over this man. So I understand the Panther fans want Clowney. I just don't see it as a must sign for the Carolina Panthers. Why? He's been an inconsistent player. He's going to be 31 years old. He's going to be 31. He's always been an inconsistent player. The guy that we saw who made an incredible play back in the Outback Bowl against Michigan all those years ago, he's never been that in the NFL. Since he left Houston, in the final year that he had in Houston, it was 2017, 2018. His last 2 years in Houston with the Texans, he had 9.5 sacks and 9 sacks as a Pro Bowler in both those years. Since then, he has not been a consistent player. He went to Seattle, had 3 sacks. Went to Tennessee, played 8 games before getting injured, had 0 sacks. Signed with Cleveland, had 9. And after having a 9-sack season, The Browns waited until May 22nd before they re-signed him because he didn't have a big enough market. He only had 2 sacks that year. Browns didn't want him back after he was talking bad about the team. They inactivated him in the final week of the season. He didn't sign with Baltimore until August 18th, where, yes, he produced. So we're talking about 3 sacks, 0, 9, 2, and 9.5 over the last couple seasons since he left Houston. He has not been a consistent player. He's not been a Pro Bowl caliber player since he left the Houston Texans. So I just don't look at him as being like the difference between the Panthers being a playoff team and not making the playoffs. This is a rebuild. The Panthers should really be focused on players that are under 30 and being able to develop them, get them to come into this culture that they're trying to build and help Bryce Young out. Like, that's the focus, not necessarily, hey, let's bring in Clowney because we need to get somebody who can get 9 sacks. Okay, he comes in and gets 9 sacks. That's great. He's just not going to be a long-term player here in Carolina. And A'Shaun Robinson, not going to be a long-term player likely in Carolina. Probably same thing with Josie Jewell, Jordan Fuller, Dane Jackson. I understand all of that. But those guys have a lot of ties to the staff here in Carolina. And they also kind of fit what the Panthers should be looking for, especially when you look at a Wonnum, who's a younger player, Jackson coming off of a rookie deal, Jordan Fuller coming off a rookie deal. They're not over the age of 30, and they haven't already shown what they're the best of them, which is, I think we've seen the best of Jadeveon Clowney. Now, if he shines with the Carolina Panthers, good. Like, it's a signing that they definitely, it's not, I don't think it's a must sign, but it's a player at a position of need for the Carolina Panthers to have him starting and then have DJ Wonnum be able to rotate in K'Lavon Chaisson and DJ Johnson, Amari Barno, Eku Leota. Like, that's a better situation for the Carolina Panthers. Is it an upgrade from what they had last year with Brian Burns and then a little bit of Vitor Gross-Matos? In my opinion, no, because Brian Burns is a much better player than DJ Wonnum. And he's a much better player than Jadeveon Clowney really ever has been so far in his NFL career. I don't think it's going to be an upgrade, but it would be a nice signing for the Carolina Panthers. I just don't think it's something that they have to do. And if the Panthers miss out, the fans should be upset about. He's not going to make or break the season, y'all. I just don't see it happening. I don't think this can be a very good team next year. I hate to say that. I would love for them to surprise. There's just too many questions that still remain on a Carolina Panthers roster. Yes, the offensive line at guard looks better, but is Icky going to actually play better this upcoming season? Deontay Johnson, it looks good. Are the Panthers going to get consistent wide receiver play? Are they going to get the same Adam Thielen they got last year? Or is there going to be a regression because he's going to be 34 years old? Tight end, still question there. Can Chuba Hubbard really be the lead back for the Carolina Panthers this upcoming season defensively? All right, you're losing Burns, you're losing Luvu, you lost Von Bell. Like, that's not nothing, and there's a lot of concern still there at the corner spot, even with a J.C. Horn. So plenty of questions, and all the teams in the NFL have questions. The Panthers do have a lot of questions they need to answer, which is kind of one of the things where I'm like, okay, yes, cool. Clowney, if you want to come home, come on home. It should still be a up to like $6 or $7 billion deal that's super incentive laden, because he has shown that, yes, he can produce, but he also can show you he can be complete dud in a season after you give him some money. Do you want to put yourself in that situation? Panthers think about it probably like, hey, we need somebody to come in anyways. He's a veteran who can help these guys, and that would be great. I just don't think that this is a player that the Panthers have to have. If they get him, great. I'll be happy about it. I'm sure you're going to probably throw it in my face, be like, oh, well, you didn't really want Clowney. I'm not saying I don't want Clowney. I'm just saying that it's not that big of a deal to me whether they get him or don't, because I just don't think he's going to change things that much. And quite honestly, I'd rather see the younger guys like DJ Johnson and Amari Barno get an opportunity and to see whether they can actually be an edge rusher than to bring in a 31-year-old player who's not going to be here long term. At least Johnson's under contract the next 3 seasons. They got DJ Wonnum coming in here. K'Lavon Chaisson, a former first-round pick, now back with Todd Wash, who's his DC when he got drafted by the Jags. Is it possible that he fits this scheme better than the one that they're running in Jacksonville? We'll see. I just would rather have the young guys get an opportunity, see them develop, see them play, find who you can actually build around than going out there and getting a 31-year-old player.